in. Thanks, guys.
Great. Thanks so much, Shelley, for having us today. And thank you to the Cotton Board for doing this and giving us this opportunity to reach many of you that I don't think I've met before in person. So I'm delighted to see you, and hopefully I'll have some questions from you. And for some of you that I've known for quite some time, it's wonderful to see your faces and that you're doing well. So I am delighted to be here today with Ann David to talk with you about what we're doing in the Consumer Marketing Division to help to get consumers to care about cotton during these times. As you can imagine, it's been an amazing ride over the past 9 months. But let's jump into it and talk about consumers. First, though, I think it's important for many of you to understand what we do as a division in the consumer marketing area. Our mission is to position cotton as the fiber of choice among consumers in the trade. And we do this in 3 ways. We do this by motivating consumers in the supply chain to search for and buy cotton items. We want to affirm that cotton is the first choice among sustainable and eco-friendly products. And when we do these things, we do it based on strategic research, economics, looking at assessments of opportunities and threats, not just internally within our company, but also externally with the industry. We share that information. There are 4 departments within our division: advertising, which you're going to hear from today; corporate communications, it includes public relations; brand partnerships; and then also corporate strategy and insights, the market research and economics, and we like to call that the CSI of Cary, North Carolina. So our division ladders up directly in our mission in our division to the company's mission to improve the demand for and profitability of cotton. So how do we support that mission? Well, without a doubt, we are stewards of the 50-year marketing investment that you as cotton producers and some of the brands and retailers have made to sustain consumer sentiment and affinity for cotton. We also look at increasing consumer consideration, intent, and opportunities to buy cotton by educating with benefits, and you're going to hear more about that today. And it's not just consumers. Although we're called consumer marketing, we do much in the corporate area and supply chain. So we give manufacturers and retailers a compelling reason to choose cotton. And then lastly, but certainly not least, as many of you know, we defend our markets from competing fibers and correct the misstatements that are out there, especially around sustainability. So let's get into talking about the consumer. There is no doubt that the consumer journey is complex. 50 years ago, when we started marketing, some of you on the phone may recall there were 2 or 3 networks. And if you wanted to change your channel, you had to get off the couch to go and do it. There was no internet, there was no social media. The speed at which consumers get information today is absolutely astounding. And their choices that they have, from where to buy, how to buy, even what time of day they can buy apparel. When we've got such a plethora of choices today, there's no doubt that there's never been a better time to market cotton to consumers. So we do this, and even in a complex world, we look at the consumer journey. And when we talk about the consumer journey, we're really talking about what gets her or him to buy cotton. And we look at it in 3 steps: awareness, engagement, and action. In awareness, we want cotton to be top of mind. In engagement, we want to provide materials and information, places for consumers to go to learn about cotton and what's important to them, whether it's something as simple as how to get a stain out, or maybe it's the benefits of cotton, hypoallergenic, sustainability. Certainly, we've got to provide places for them to go. And then ultimately, those 2 lead into the final stage, and that's action. We want consumers to check for, search for, and buy cotton products. And how do we take that to them? So I talk about this a lot at producer tours, which, by the way, is one of my favorite things to do. And if some of you haven't been there, when we're back in business and in person in business, we hope that you'll come to one of those with the Cotton Board. But I wanted to show you the activities by the consumer purchasing funnel that we do in the marketing division. In awareness, that's really where our TV commercials and video content sit. And that's what we call a halo campaign. So we give messages that are broad, such as comfort and fashion. And when we do the commercials, it is something that will span across any brand or retailer. We do not partner with a specific brand or retailer in that because, as you've seen in the past 9 months, it's very volatile. A lot of businesses go out. So we want messages, because ours are generally on television for 2 years. We want those to last and sustain the test of time. But that's our biggest awareness plays: TV, digital, video content, but also our social handles: Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're not following us, you should. In education or engagement, we have websites: The Fabric of Our Lives, Blue Jeans Go Green, Cotton Today, where we teach consumers about the benefits of cotton. Custom content partnerships we'll talk more about. And when we talk to the supply chain, we've done a significant amount of webinars, presentations, publications, sponsorships that are all now virtual in the industry, and editorial coverage, again, going to the truths about cotton. And then in the action area, this is where we really see the rubber meet the road. This is where we get purchases of cotton to happen, or checking the label. And that's through our brand partnerships primarily, and also shopcotton.com, where we feature technologies by Cotton Incorporated in the product development area, Fabricast adoptions, and other products as well. And then lastly, Blue Jeans Go Green, where not only can you recycle products, but you can also buy a new denim product that's high cotton content. And any message that you hear that comes out of Cotton Incorporated, not just the consumer marketing division, but as a whole, is scientifically proven. We may market a product that has fluff and softness, but our messages are not whatsoever. And that is because of the requirement from the USDA as a commodity under that program and a checkoff. And it's a wonderful program to have, because you can have confidence in the messages that we're putting out and the claims that we are making. So it is essential to us that we have partners across the spectrum. And partners come in many forms: media partners, retail and brand partners. And for example, on here, you'll just see some of those partners today. But someone like the Wall Street Journal is using our economic services for quotes about not just cotton, but other commodity products. If some of you heard the Cotton and Coffee with John Devine earlier, you know the depth of the information we have. And then we have retail and brand partners such as Zappos or Refinery 29 that helps us get the message out and reach a younger market as well. And many of these brands we present to the market research information, and they change. And unfortunately, some of these brands are in a state of flux right now. But what is consistent, regardless of the brands that we have the opportunity to work with, is cotton. And that cotton is something consumers are always looking for among all the brands. So in producer tours, very often after we give the tour, some of the questions I can receive is about the program value and effectiveness. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share some of that information with you. How do I know the activities that we do are working? We're still in the consumer journey in that phase. So let's look at awareness. When consumers across the U.S. are asked the first fiber that comes to mind for apparel, 81% say cotton. The next closest fiber is about 40%. And if you want to know what that is, you'll have to ask me at the end. When we look at the seal of cotton, for more than 2 decades, 8 out of 10 consumers have been aware of the seal of cotton. And there's no doubt that is due to advertising efforts, brand partnerships, getting seal on product at retail, and point of purchase. But the seal is not just an identifier. We also know from research that when the seal is present on a product, 83% of consumers believe that that brand that has the seal on it cares about sustainability. 75% say the clothing is stylish and on trend, and 2/3 say they are willing to pay more. We do not connote quality with the seal necessarily, but consumers perceive it as a quality mark. Those partnerships, again, are very important to what we do. In engagement, last year alone, there were more than 400 million consumers exposed to the seal of cotton benefit messaging and had the opportunity to learn more. At shopcotton.com, on the Fabric of Our Lives website, we drove 100,000 clicks out to retail. Many of these had our technologies and Fabricast and other adoptions they're using from Cotton Incorporated. In the sustainability area, we've been testing messaging on that, and we just recently worked with a company called Mind Body Green. In 4 weeks, there was 37,000 downloads by consumers with a podcast talking about things such as microplastics and the benefits of cotton, that it's not a water hog in the usage. And a lot of those terms we use because that's the way the consumers talk. And in engagement, we know with the CSI group that they talked with more than 800 companies last year about economics and market research around the world. And this year, it's most likely going to be even higher because of virtual meetings like this. So in the final phase of the journey in action, I'm very excited to share this with you. Some of you that are on our board will recall that in the past year, we've been working on a curriculum for youth, specifically middle schoolers, 4th to 8th grade, to talk about the benefits of cotton, why you should check the label, microplastics, and of course, other sustainable measures. And you talk about having the right message at the right time and being at the right place. From March to September of this year, there were 80,000 downloads of that curriculum across the US. That curriculum getting out to students that need that at a time and learning the message of cotton. Secondly, in action, many years ago, about 12 years ago, we created Blue Jeans Go Green. It was the first, and currently it is the only circular cotton denim recycling program that exists in the US. And we educate not just about denim recycling, but the benefits of cotton and why it's important. To date, we've had more than 200 partners participate and 4 million denim items recycled. And the other thing that's significantly important about this program is that consumers do have an opportunity to purchase another denim item when they go into a retail partner if they so choose. And then last but not least, we have the brand partnership programs where we work with companies such as Bed Bath & Beyond, Zappos, and others. And last year we worked with Amazon, and it could not have been more relevant. And our investment with Amazon came back with a double-digit return. And that's significant because when we look at these programs, we look at growth and opportunities. And we're very fortunate that this year we had planned another program with Amazon, again, exceptionally relevant during the holiday season. Because of COVID, our partnership was pushed to the holiday, and that's new for us. And we're delighted to have it. It's called the Cotton Style House, and it's holiday edition. We will have women's, men's, children's, home, and gifts. So listen, you have an opportunity to go there mid-November, November 11th. We'll send a message out to the cotton board that hopefully they'll pass on to you, or you can buy your cotton curated gifts there. And not only do we have that program going on with Amazon, we also have paid media that supports and sends people to Amazon to the curated cotton items. And 43 influencers will be helping us spread the message about cotton to their followers. And that's messaging about the benefits, not just buying, but benefits too. And you'll see some of what the visuals are going to look like. It says merry and bright, styled just right. There'll be cozy items, comfort and joy, exceptionally on target for this market and what we're looking at doing this year. So I hope that you'll go there. And then, before I turn it over to Ann, I just hope that you'll take away from the presentation today that with all of the activities we do, we're always looking at ways to evolve and to measure those activities. We don't take them for granted at all. So whether we're in awareness, engagement, or action, we have metrics that we look at to see if the programs are meeting the targets and the objectives that we've set forth. And it's so important to us to help consumers overcome inertia, to ensure that they're looking for their design and they're purchasing cotton products. And we do that through our efforts here, and we test and learn all of the time. So that's what I had prepared for you on my section today. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ann David for you. Ann started with us in February of this year, 6 weeks before the shutdown in the US. Fortunately, we had the opportunity to travel together, and she has been a wonderful addition to the team. So meet Ann David, Director of Advertising.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kim. I'm looking forward to the day when I can meet all of you in person, but it's nice to see your faces this morning, so thank you for being with us. So we'll just keep getting through the presentation. So we'll start with the advertising strategic objectives. So Kim spoke earlier about the consumer journey, and what I'll discuss here is a focus on the brand's journey and the steps we take to ensure that we're taking each thoughtful opportunity to create awareness, engagement, and inspire action to purchase cotton from the brand perspective. So when we speak about awareness to the consumer, we want to ensure that our creative is being seen across broadcast, digital, and social media. And we focus on optimizing that journey to key performing creative for maximum reach and interaction. With engagement, We focus on sharing the benefits of cotton with the consumer to educate them on cotton sustainability and health benefits, in addition to being comfortable and stylish. We as a brand focus on understanding our target, where she is, and if the creative is speaking to her in a way that makes her engage with the content. We certainly want to inspire action and increase label checking, of course, and we review each campaign's metrics to ensure that we're continuing the story most effectively. These objectives always ladder back to our pillars of fashion and comfort, sustainability, and health and wellness. So next, we'll take a look at our target. Many of you may be familiar with our target. It is primarily women 18 to 49. Our paid media efforts do focus on 18 to 34 programming, knowing that we get the halo effect of up to 49 and often beyond. We do focus on a 70-30 female-male split because this demographic spends more than men and other age groups, is the primary purchaser for her household, has a better understanding of natural fibers, and will pay more for it. Excuse me, and there's less cotton in women's wear than men's wear overall, so there's room for more storytelling and education about the benefits. So next I want to talk a little bit about our research process. As well as we know our target, we understand what is trending in the macro world with cotton. By conducting our own research, we gather a better sense of the consumer's needs and wants and how cotton can play a role. Our creative and media strategies are validated by both internal and external research, and we are constantly monitoring and analyzing programs to see where we can improve and what's working well. Our current ad tracker helps us measure campaign success, like ad recall, likability, message comprehension, as well as real behavior changes like label checking, makes me think differently about cotton, or makes me want to buy more cotton. So we'll touch on this a little bit more when we look at the creative. So now, while I've spoken about our strategic objectives, our target, and our research, this is all the work we do before we even begin the creative concepting process. We take that data, we brief our agencies on our goals, and really start to dig deep into how the messaging will speak directly to the consumer. So we conduct brainstorms and workshop sessions to get at the heart of questions like, how will this move our audience? How will this stand out in our category? And how does this solve for our business goals? Once we have those answers, we brief our teams and the creative concepting begins. But the learning does not stop there. We conduct focus groups, both in person and online, to hear directly from our key consumer demographic about how the creative concept is speaking to them. For example, in our recent campaign concept that we tested for Your Cotton Your Way, which will be launching in 2021, some of the feedback we received from consumers was, cotton is for everyone from all backgrounds and lifestyles. It unifies all, yet it is personal to each individual. And then another piece of feedback, I think it's a super unique commercial idea. I think it will connect to everyone based on the different types of people involved. And additionally, 64% of respondents said that they think this will make them think more about what their clothes are made of. So these are just a few examples of the type of feedback that we receive when we conduct this kind of focus group research. We take that information and then that shapes the final creative before we actually produce the TV work. All this to say, let's take a look at the actual creative. So as I've mentioned, all of our creative messaging focuses on 3 key pillars: fashion and comfort, sustainability, and health and wellness. We'll take a look at these pillars in the next pages. So for broadcast TV, we've seen excellent results capitalizing on the use of humor that we saw in our Life is Uncomfortable campaign, where we've seen positive results with brand lift and recognition, as 74% of all female respondents said the ad captured their attention, and 50% said it made them want more cotton clothing in their life. We'll continue that in the upcoming Your Cotton Your Way work, where we'll show a variety of people in cotton conveying different moments of fashion, comfort, and durability. From a media perspective, TV is still king, and we focus on a heavy mix of network programming across ABC, NBC, and Fox at key seasons in the year, spring and fall. We run on programs like The Bachelor, Grey's Anatomy, The Masked Singer, even Family Feud and Shark Tank. Additionally, we run with a variety of cable channels that speak directly to our target, like HGTV, the Food Network, Bravo, and TLC. We also run on key streaming platforms like Hulu and Roku, with streaming accounting for about 32% of all viewership. We'll take a look at our digital program next. Our digital program is unique in the way that we are able to highly target the creative with digital publishers and sites that speak to the messaging we are sharing in both digital banners and digital video. We worked with 12 publishers this year, sites like Pandora, Goop, BuzzFeed, Verizon, and the Weather Channel. We've aligned our fashion, health and wellness, and sustainability banners to run within these sites that are most appropriate to this content. At the midpoint in our campaign, our overall digital impressions were 27 million. And we have a 74% video completion rate, meaning that consumers watched our videos, which are 15 seconds or less, all the way through. Additionally, we saw a continued 88% favorability of cotton and a 4.4 increase in online ad awareness from 2019. However, we're not just running our digital banner creative with these sites. We've also created unique custom partnerships tailored to each pillar within the site so that we both share our digital content and utilize the editorial content within the site for our paid content. We're going to look at the custom pieces next. So this is a very small snapshot of some of our digital creative from our program this year. We have created over 100 pieces of individual custom content with these publishers. So for example, and I know these are hard to read, for example, our piece with Urban Daddy was a curated cotton collection entitled, "These Style Essentials Look Good, Feel Good, and Do Good. Collect Them All." Then that leads you to the site for the user to view and to click to purchase with the retailer. Another example of our curated fashion content is with Who What Wear, and we saw metrics that said over 60% of the respondents were likely to seek out cotton items after being exposed to our custom cotton piece with them. And with our second year of our Bustle and Urban Daddy microsite called Check the Label Project, which features different articles geared towards cotton usages and articles such as, "Is this shirt good for you?" So on average time spent on site of 37 seconds when the benchmark is only 31 seconds. So far we've been very pleased with our digital custom program. We'll take a look at sustainability next. So sustainability, as we all know, is a key area of focus. Kim mentioned it earlier, Mind Body Green is a sustainability site that is featured on our digital creative, which focus on the connection of plant-based clothing, which Kim is playing right now. It doesn't have any audio, but so you can see that, again, we're just focusing on that connection, that cotton comes from a plant, just like you focus on a plant-based diet. For some of our consumers, you can focus on a plant-based wardrobe. Additionally, we created several key custom pieces, including the podcast with Dr. Jesse Daystar, as Kim mentioned as well. You may have seen the statistic that he shared that we eat a credit card's worth of plastic each week. Pretty scary. However, what was not scary, as Kim mentioned, was the wonderful response we saw to this podcast. And yes, we saw over 36,000 downloads in just 4 weeks. To give that a little bit of context, in a 6-week flight, typically with this publisher, they see only 30,000 downloads. So we've already exceeded our full flight benchmark at the 4-week point. So that's also very exciting for us. We also curated collections around how to create more sustainable home decor and how to focus on sustainable at-home essentials. Additionally, with the custom email sent from this site, we saw a 35% open rate when their benchmark is only 20%. So we're pleased to see that the sustainability creative is really resonating with this audience, especially in this particular publisher. We'll take a look at health and wellness. So we've seen positive results and interest in our health and wellness pieces as well. For example, with Goop, a lifestyle site, cotton Snapchat takeover exceeded all of our overall social engagement rate. Articles on publisher Well and Good, like, "Serious question, when should you use cotton balls versus cotton rounds?" saw 23% of the overall page views to the site. Further, our campaign on the Weather Channel saw an above average click-through rate of 54%, which means more consumers clicked on the cotton content to learn more. Their average benchmark is about 47. Additionally, the health and wellness creative drove more conversion to the fabricofourlives.com page. 51% of users sought out cotton products in our shop area after engaging with our health and wellness digital content. And we should note that 67% of our Fabric of Our Lives traffic was driven by our digital campaign this year, with health and wellness content driving over 270,000 users and our sustainability content driving over 170,000 users. I'm going to take a quick look at social media as well. So throughout 2020, we have revised and refined our social strategy to prioritize Instagram as our primary social channel, with Facebook and Twitter remaining strong as well. Historically and currently, Instagram has garnered more engagements, meaning likes, comments, and impressions, than any of our other consumer-facing channels. This year, we're utilizing a robust influencer program as well, where 9 key influencers who focus on lifestyle will speak across the 3 pillars of sustainability, health and wellness, and fashion, with the influencer posting in Instagram either on stories or just in feed content. That program has been running since September and will run through the end of the year. Our 2019 learnings have showed us that influencers who have a following of 10,000 to 100,000 have a more engaged following. Again, meaning consumers who are more likely to comment, share, and follow the recommendation of the influencer, as they feel more like a friend, not a brand. So they have that halo of being advised by what they perceive to be as a friend, not a brand talking to them necessarily. While we're talking about working with others, we do want to take a look at brand partnerships. So as Kim stepped you through some of our brand partnerships earlier, I did want to mention how we bring in our retailer partnerships into the fabricofourlives.com and our social channels. We feature the programs across the site so that the users can shop directly and also just see what programs are available if they're already following us. Additionally, as I mentioned, our health and wellness digital campaign drove more to shop cotton interest on the Fabric of Our Lives, with users seeking out non-wovens and apparel, with underwear being the most searched item and the Hanes Cool Comfort underwear receiving 20% of the clicks. So we're pleased to see how our digital campaigns are also benefiting our cotton sealed programs as well. Finally, we do work with corporate communications to create media interest in our work from the public relations side, as we did with our Rosie Reborn campaign earlier in this year, where we saw editorial articles from publications like She Knows, Yahoo Finance and Fashion, and Women's Wear Daily, as well as we had a special segment in the second hour of the Today Show. We also had an editorial feature on Bustle, which is a perfect symbiosis of where we have our paid digital content, and then we also have our earned PR content. We're also going to take a look at what we do with trade. So in trade, we focus efforts on print and digital publications like Sourcing Journal, Eco Textile, China Textile Leader, and LinkedIn. Our macro trade efforts are both in domestic and international publications, promoting Cotton Incorporated, its resources, marketing technologies, and programs. The digital campaign delivered over 6.4 million impressions. Additionally, Cottonseed maintains an ongoing media presence in trade publications, and a recent campaign saw 1.88 million impressions. And finally, Nonwovens had an ongoing media presence as well, with a 2020 click-through rate being 2 times higher than 2019. It was a mix of new partners and new creative that contributed to the strong performance. And with our as with our other campaigns, we're constantly testing, optimizing, and learning to, again, tell the best cotton story where we can. With that, I am just about done. I just want to point out our resources. And again, as Kim mentioned, if you aren't, please follow us on social media and check out both our consumer and our trade pages, which are noted here for you. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it back to Kim.
Thanks so much, Ann. And thank everyone for taking the time and listening. I guess Monty or whomever's directing the questions, we're happy to take any questions that you have now. And also, I just wanted to add that in a couple of the areas we talked about, the global market research and the recycling program, that we do some of this work in conjunction with Cotton Council International and let their people also take the information out. And with recycling specifically, we're helping them look at a potential recycling program in Europe for U.S. cotton. And that's all in research at this point in time, but we're delighted to be able to share that, as well as a Cotton Latino website in Mexico that we use also to market cotton in Latin America. Monty, I'll give it to you.
Thanks, Kim. We've got a couple of questions that they've typed in on chat.